Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and with me is the third-eyed mystic herself, the ever-so-lovely Neima.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Neima. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. That's dandy.
Okay, we'll go with that. Now, guys, I've been waiting a long time to say this, but guess who's back joining us? I don't know how long it's been, like maybe close to a year, if not over a year. I don't know. My timeline is all off. But yes, my partner in crime is back. Please welcome Rose, the alien queen.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back, Rose.
Oh, thank you. It's awesome to be back.
So, two things are happening right now. Two first. One, this is your first show with Neima.
Yep.
And two, this is your first live show.
Yes.
How does it feel?
Very, very awkward.
What?
And you guys listening in chat, I'm so sorry for the little bit of echo you might be hearing. You know, we can't figure out where it's coming from, but, hopefully it's not too problematic. But, hey,
I still think it's coming from Melvin's end.
it is not. But thank you guys for showing up in chat to begin with. It's super appreciated. Before we get into it, I need to address something with Neima.
What's up?
All right, so I was actually somewhat upset at you, like really upset at you,
Why?
because you hid something from me.
What is that?
You never freaking told me that you did journals, like legit make handmade journals. And when I saw them, I was like, oh my god, these are really cool. And they look extremely good. They're freaking awesome. And why didn't you tell me that?
I don't know. I don't think I really told anyone until I could actually present something that was good enough.
Well, they are darn good, all right? And you guys, go check them out. The link is in the description where you can go to the Etsy. Is that how it's said? Etsy?
Yeah, Etsy shop.
Yeah, links in the description below. Check it out when you have time. Purchase one or two, all. And Neima, whenever you decide to make a crimson velvet with a Taurus head in the center, you probably will have a sale. So I would definitely buy.
Okay, I actually do have like deep red velvet.
Oh, well. All right.
I would just need to make some kind of cool looking thing.
So there we go. You guys definitely check
You, sh-
that out.
you should make a Doctor Who journal.
Oh, I saw, yeah, this
Like,
girl on YouTube does that. She made one. It was pretty cool.
yeah, because there's actually a TARDIS journal in the Doctor Who series.
Yeah, yeah, she did one of those, and then I think she did one from Harry Potter too.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
So look at that. First show and already bonding.
Don't make it awkward, Melvin.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's what I do. I make things awkward, unfortunately. I'm sorry. At first, I really was going to make this awkward and just have Rose take over the show since it's her
Yeah,
first
no.
day back, but
I'm
after
way too rusty to take care of the show, Melvin.
yeah, so I'll just continue on and one day, one of these two are going to just take over and I'm just going to be like dead.
The only time I would take over a show is if it was alien-related topic.
Yeah, and speaking of the topic, we're going to be discussing the afterlife or after lives because, it's more than one depending on your belief. And that's always what got me because being in the States, this is a Christian society. So in our head, it's like, well, you have heaven and the other place, nothing pretty much in between. I guess you could say with Catholicism and a few other things, yeah, there is limbo, but for the most part, it's one of two places, and you get there one of two ways. Either you believe in Jesus and accept him in your heart and love all that stuff, or you don't and you're gonna burn for eternity, which is completely messed up. What's up with that?
I'm very anti-religious.
I know you are. That's why we won't be talking about religion, but just the afterlives. Well, yeah, just for the most part, the afterlives themselves. And you know what, Rose? Do you actually believe in an afterlife?
I believe in reincarnation and that there are spirits that I think they're just stuck here until they can move on. So I believe in something.
But you're not sure what exactly?
There's evidence that there are ghosts, spirits, spirit guides, guardian angels. I do believe in reincarnation, though. I think that is a really big step. It's hard to explain.
Neima, do you believe in an afterlife?
I'm along the same lines as Rose. So reincarnation for sure. I don't believe necessarily there's a Hades or anywhere where people burn.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And, well, me, myself, it doesn't really matter. What matters is why is this so unknown to us? You know, we have so many different beliefs in the world. They all have some type of afterlife, and yet we know jack squat about it. Like, sure, we get a couple of glimpses here and there with spirits, and we can listen to a couple of psychics, and then there are some people who have near death experiences. But with the near death experience, how much of that is them seeing a legit place versus DMT and other hormones and stuff flowing in their minds, along with influences from culture that's creating this image. You know, so it's tough. We know legit nothing about the afterlife unless we go there ourselves, and
Well,
usually it's a one-way
no
ticket.
one's really no one's really died and come back to tell us what happens.
I think there's a lot of people that claim to have passed over, but then brought back, like in hospitals and stuff. I think there's quite a few books on people that have gone through something like that.
Like the near-death experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so I've always been curious about that. It's just we know but we don't know, and I want to see more of it, but
I
th-
just think that if someone dies for a brief moment, like a couple of minutes, their body isn't fully letting go of their soul.
Ah.
So they might see a brief part, but I don't think they'd see the full image of what actually happens.
oh, so a little teaser.
You know what I mean? Yeah, well, like you think of your astral body, like it's got to detach from your physical body. And for you to come back into your physical body after being dead for a couple of minutes, I don't think you've actually fully gone to whatever you go to.
I think that's a good point because I remember reading about one guy who was coming from a atheist point of view, and he said he died for like 3 minutes, whatever it was, came back, and he dedicated the rest of his life claiming that Jesus and God were real and all that. So I'm like, I don't think that's the full story.
No.
It has to be more to it.
And I think everyone has different experiences too. Like everyone's different. Like when they have a near death experience, they see different things. Like
Right. Do you think that's based off
Yeah.
of their beliefs?
possibly, yeah. It could definitely interpret what they see. From a extraterrestrial side of things, I know that if when someone dies, if they fully believe in angels and that angels might appear to them, but they may not actually be angels, if you know what I mean. It's just to try and calm them down from the fact that they've just died. It's hard to
Yeah, I would
explain.
agree with that.
Um, But yeah, I mean, if they deeply believe in something and when they die, they might actually see what they believe in because it's something that's comforting them, like, making them feel better that they've, like, so they're not scared and freaking out that they've just, oh my God, what's happening?
Right. It's like
Like,
the mind transitioning them.
yeah, pretty much.
Actually, Rose, you remember Alien Photog, right?
Yeah.
He had a NDE, near death
Oh, yeah.
experience. Yeah,
Oh,
and
what was his about?
yeah, well, he didn't tell too many people, but we were speaking one day, and he was telling me about it and how he described heaven was, kind of traditional. He said that he remembers seeing Saint Peter, the guy at the pearly gates, and he said that there was a tunnel and there was light, and he remembers a feeling of euphoria, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. And he did not want to come back here. And the interesting
Okay.
thing with him is is that his wife, Mrs. AP, we'll just call her that for right now, she said that she actually was speaking to aliens. I know how that sounds. That sounds so weird. That's why I paused for a second because I said in my
I
head,
actually remember her saying that
yeah,
too.
and asking them if they could help out, and they seem to have helped out and pulled them out of it because by medical standards, he should have been dead. His brain was crushed. No way he should have lived.
Well, I think his alien experience may have helped him with that.
Yeah, but I'll go into that one day. But, this. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that. Actually, what is the point I'm trying to make?
I have no idea.
You know what? Don't you hate it when that
He
happens?
saw pearly white gates and kind of like a heaven.
Oh, yes. It's actually going to go back to what you were just saying, where I wonder how much of that was influenced by what he knows with culture, or,
Yeah,
from our
yeah.
culture versus what is actually happening. Because if you are still attached to the body, I think that there is a chemical reaction going on as well.
It's possible. Yeah, definitely.
And that's why I want to see what would
Because
happen.
if you
Oh,
think that when a lot, like, some people can like be dreaming in a really deep sleep and they can actually leave their physical body in their astral body, and it's always interpreted by what their mind is thinking. So it could be the same thing when you're sort of leaving your body, but you haven't quite detached from the body yet. Your mind is still, interpreting what's happening.
yeah, and that's why I want to research near death experiences on a global scale to see what people of other religious backgrounds and cultures to see what they see. Do you see something similar or different? You know.
It's funny. I actually remember seeing a video of Ozzy Osbourne when he had a near-death experience. I mean, he's pretty, effed in the head. Um, but he's like, "There's no effing angels. There's no heaven. I was flying around, blah blah blah," and I'm just like, okay. So he reckons he was flying around or something.
When did this happen?
Oh, I can't remember. It was years ago. I just remember seeing something on TV and it was Ozzy Osbourne talking about it, and I'm just like, okay,
Oh, funny.
well, he's pretty, not quite there.
And that actually brings me to this. What if we create our own afterlife? I somewhat think we do. And Neima, you talk about bringing things into existence all the time and, creating it out of nothing. So, what if we take it a step further and we actually create our own piece of heaven based off of strong desires that we have in the physical life?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think that's very much possible.
Like, could you imagine? I mean, the stronger the belief, the more energy goes into it, and, perhaps it is somehow manifested in this world that is outside our physical knowledge. Although, you know what? Thinking about that now, I wonder. I'm thinking about what my little slice of heaven would be like if things do pop into existence. Huh.
Yeah. What would that be like?
Honestly, I don't think it would be. Well, it would be for me, and like this just shows how selfish I am and just self-centered. But I think there would be a lot of women, a lot of good things to eat, movies, and video games. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's like, where's the family? Where's the, where's everything else? Where's the friends? Oh yeah, yeah, they're somewhere.
I do believe though that some family do wait for you, like family and friends, like they're happy to greet you when you pass over.
Do you think it's more of their essence, like what they
Yeah, that's
left behind?
yep. No, that's definitely that could, yeah,
You're talking about residual energy.
yeah. Like even some spirits and that they might just leave their energy behind. They may not be actually still here in spirit form. They might have gone somewhere, but their energy's still left behind. And
Hmm.
the energy is something. If something's bad happened, like they got murdered, that energy still lingers in that area.
When I had EVP on, we were actually talking about ectovision paranormal. We were actually talking about the residual energies left behind and if there are if they're intelligent spirits or if it's just energy and we're seeing a film basically play out in some regards and you know could that energy intentionally be left or is it just from life in general?
True.
Hmm, it's a tough question.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that we need to investigate more, but it again it's hard. Like how do you we don't have the technology exactly and I don't think we ever will because we're trying to understand something that is beyond our physical limits.
And like I've said with the extraterrestrial thing, is we are still a level one planet and we're all in a physical body and we're not quite yet evolved into that sort of um, we haven't evolved from where we are. So that might be a bit difficult to try and figure out.
Yeah, that's true. So, Neema, what would be in your slice of heaven?
Oh, a lot of plants, a lot of crystals, a lot of books, probably
Looks
like a
good.
few pet snakes, and
I
you know,
You made
love
Rose's
snakes.
day.
Oh, absolutely
yeah,
love
I
it.
have a ball python. He's a blue Ilusic, so he's all white.
Oh, oh, I love pythons, especially the white ones, the albino ones. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm like so jealous right now.
Uh,
I'm not allowed to have a pet snake because the other person living with me doesn't like snakes. So I'm just like, well, that's not fair. Plus, my mum said if I ever got a pet snake, she'd never visit me
Oh
because
wow, that's rude.
she's actually got a proper fear of snakes because when she was
Oh,
little,
okay.
someone locked her in like a shed full of snakes and kind of scared her a little bit.
and that's down under too, where
Yeah,
everything
that's
wants to kill
reasonable.
you.
Yeah,
Rose, what about your slice of heaven?
probably going back to where I believe I'm from. If like when this body goes, I'd like to go back to wherever like if it's extraterrestrial related. I'm just saying that that's what I believe in, but I want to go back to them. That would be my heaven, going back to where I know or what I believe I am from, and get back to being a little bit more smarter than what what I am in a physical body. Because down here, especially on this planet, I mean, it has a lot of pros and cons. But at the moment, I'm looking at a lot of cons about this planet, and I just, as soon as I'm gone, I will probably feel a lot more at home when I'm back where I'm supposed to be.
All right, so let's see. To recap, Neema, you have knowledge and well, with snakes that usually means a little bit of mystique or magic and such, and plants, naturey. Rose, you want to get back
I'm
home.
actually,
Huh?
I was going to say I'm actually very, very much like that as well. Like I love plants and nature and snakes, and I was actually born in the year of the snake.
Okay.
But I actually love all those things as well. Like as much as I don't really feel like I belong on this planet, I still love everything about nature and the animals, and it's just so beautiful. So if I was to go to a physical plane, I would want to go somewhere like that. Just nice, natural, like no humans, like no humans.
All right.
Just yeah.
And me, I'm just gonna be a man whore apparently, and and just play games and eat. So,
Oh, please.
so
What's worse than having one girl on here, two girls on here?
yeah, who are actually more similar than I initially thought. You're both pretty short, like extremely short.
What's our height got to do with anything?
I'm just saying the similarities. You're both short. You
Right.
both have tats, pretty wicked tats. I think you both wear
Are we?
glasses.
Yes. Are we both brunette?
Uh,
Yeah.
Like naturally
yeah,
brown hair?
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, both into mythicism and the universe and exploring and all that good stuff. Um, both of you probably don't like being around people all that much.
Maybe
Yep.
maybe we're spiritually related somehow.
Probably.
Maybe she's my long lost sister.
So I don't know. It's similarities there. I think that's probably why I was drawn to Neima a bit. I don't know. That was just yeah, because she said yeah. Well, I said this story before. I'm not going to repeat it. Um. So yeah, you guys are interesting. We'll just put it that way. So I think this is something that all three of us would agree on. One common trend that for whatever reason seems to be present when dealing with anything in the afterlife and when you pass on, it always freaking seems like everyone is judged, and you get judged before you can legit move on to either the good place, the in between place, or the bad place. And
Ain't no I don't want to go to a bad place.
and to me, this is where my little weird personality comes from or comes into play. A lot of it seems to be based off of guilt. And if you believe you had a good life, and it's a pretty flawed system thinking about it, because what exactly about that determines where you go? I mean, for instance, you lived a boring life, so you're in between. Or you lived a darn good life with no regrets, even though you pulled the Bernie Madoff and stole billions of dollars from people. But it's okay because you don't feel guilty and you can move right on up through those pearly gates and enjoy. Or you lived a pretty good life, but, and this is where my dark side comes in, you lived a pretty good life, but you killed several people. You had a good reason for doing it, though. After all, they raped your sister, blew up your dad, ran over your mom. But you feel guilty, and therefore you go to the bad place. Like, what? Are you kidding me? How does this work?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Good point.
Like, no, I am so serious about this because in Egyptian mythology, you are judged, but under different merits. They're not necessarily as specific as don't lie to mom and dad or, you better love this person. They're not like that, but still, you have to face trial, so to speak, in front of 42 judges and a handful of gods, and you have to legit answer to them, like, and confess your sins and all that mess. And then, of course, your heart is weighed against the feather, and if the heart is lighter than the feather, you go to their version of heaven. I can't pronounce that name, so I'm not going to butcher it right now. Or you go, or if the heart is heavier than the feather, you get eaten by a mud. So it's like, what the heck? Or in Greek mythology, this one I love. You won't even make it to be judged unless you pay the ferryman, Sharon or Charon. I can't say his name. So
Sharon.
yeah. So what's up with that? You have to pay the ferryman to to even get to a place. Neima, what's going on with that? Okay, and we are back. So restart the stream. Neima, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Rose will probably join us momentarily. She is, well, I don't know what she's doing. So again, sorry about that, guys. And I have to try to remember what it was I asked you.
Um, yeah. No, I was gonna say I don't like the idea of having to go to judgment right after this life.
Yeah, because again, it goes back to what determines a good life. And then we go into this morality thing that we discussed last episode, where, like, yeah, you could do a lot of nasty things, but morally, or if you don't feel like you've done anything wrong, then are you wrong? Are you guilty? I mean, like, the only reason why people aren't as crazy as they should be is because we were worried about consequences and stuff like that. But take those out of the picture, and believe me, there would be a lot more dead people. This world would not be as populated as it is.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just good to live by a rule of kind of karma and treat others how you want to be treated, and then like you don't know where to go from there.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, but
I just don't want to die and have to do a whole bunch of trials because I feel like this life is just difficult enough.
yeah, now, this goes back into creating your afterlife and such, but what if we're actually in a shared afterlife right now and we create our own troubles and issues and we're not even trapped here. The thing is, we don't realize we could just walk right out. Like, we created this ourselves and we're dealing with it. And this is our own punishment for something else that we've done in another life, perhaps.
Right, like when you first come in, when you're born, I feel like the family and everything is a representation of past karma.
It's pretty interesting to think about. I mean, what if this is our prison? This is our punishment. This is our afterlife. But saying that, it's not too bad of an afterlife, all things considered. It's just a few morons who mess it up for everyone. You know how that goes.
Oh, yes, I do.
So that's something that I'm gonna think about now, which I hope those of you watching and listening, I hope this conversation gets you to think. I mean, just even if it's only for a split second, where it's like, well, what if? Because that's what this is about. This is just our opinions and what ifs and perhaps and all that stuff. No one's trying to pass anything off as fact except for the fact that one day we all will fork over and hopefully it
And
doesn't
die.
suck.
Hopefully it doesn't suck. I mean,
Actually, oh, this is gonna be morbid, but what would be the perfect way of going?
oh, I reckon sleeping peacefully in your bed, like, when you're
Yeah.
a lot older. So you're old, it's your time to go. You go to sleep one night and then you just don't wake up.
Yep, I agree. That's the
You
best
just
way to go.
peacefully just drift off and that's it.
And this is where again my little warped mind comes into play. I would not want that. I would be okay if I'm successful forking over at 45 as long as I'm in decent shape and I had a happy, well, semi happy life and some success because I don't
It's
want to be
it's
old.
it's funny you say that because I actually don't really want to get old and wrinkly and deal with all that. But you gotta think if you got family as well, you just gotta think about them.
Well, I think we've already established apparently family is not high on my list because I'm just a whore.
Apparently. But you could be like that dude. What's his name? The one that recently died, he was old. The Playboy dude.
Oh, Hugh
Oh,
Hefner?
Hugh
Hugh Hefner.
Hefner.
Hugh Hefner. Yes, that's that. You could be like him. He had a pretty happy life,
Yeah, he had a happy life. He was surrounded by hot women his entire life. Yeah, you better believe
and
it was.
they still did things with him when he was old and wrinkly. Probably used a lot of Viagra.
Oh God, we're going into uncharted territory now. Let's reel it back in.
I want to know what
Um,
his afterlife is like.
You know
oh my
what?
gosh.
That's a good
He
question.
he's probably just doing what he did in life, just sitting down, chilling, and everyone just gives him whatever he wants.
You know what though?
Yeah.
That's not a bad way to go.
He'd be in paradise, I reckon.
Are you guys familiar with Dante's Inferno?
No.
I've heard of it.
You never
Um,
read that book?
is that like the Da Vinci Code?
No, it's about the different circles of
Okay.
the underworld and stuff like that, where the demons reside and stuff. All
Yeah,
right.
no, I've heard of it. I just haven't really got into it.
Well, my what I was gonna get at with that is, it seems like it's different levels to the afterlife, whether it be positive or negative, whichever way. It appears to be different levels, and I want to know, why are there different levels? Perhaps in this regards, the afterlife isn't very much of an afterlife, and we should view it more as a spiritual awakening.
Well, that's kind of like what I sort of believe in anyway. Because when I die and when if I'm going back to where I believe I've come from, it is like a spiritual awakening because I've had an experience down here. I've learned things, and I think that's how you evolve as a spirit. Like, every life you have, you learn things. You have your life experiences, and then yeah, you move on.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering about that. What about you, Neima? What do you think?
Yeah, I would go with the same idea that every life experience you're just learning and evolving, and hopefully you evolve for the better.
Yes. Because I always wonder about all the bad people down here, like the murderers and the pedophiles and all that. Like, where do they go when they die? And do they learn anything from what they've done in this life? Like, I've always wondered that.
Yeah, and if they have to keep cycling in order
Yeah,
to
like I
learn.
believe sometimes you see on like TV shows where they have people that commit suicide. They keep coming back and they keep committing suicide. They've got to learn not to do that. So they come back as another person and they got to learn, okay, don't do that. So it's like you can't just write yourself off like that.
Oh, and we have a question too.
What is the question?
This is
Is it appropriate?
Yes, it's appropriate. They're not going to say, Melvin,
Okay.
flash us your boobs. Oh, wait a second. I should have said one of you girls. Why did I say me? My God.
Your boobs are probably bigger than mine.
I'm
Just
not.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, I've been working out, alright? Anyway, Denise R says, what is everyone's background in this field? Okay, so for Rose and myself, we actually don't have, and I guess Neema, I'm gonna toss you in here as well, whether you like it or not. We don't actually have any professional background in any of this. We are quite literally three random people who
Like to
enjoy,
research stuff.
yeah, who like to research, enjoy this type of discussion, and share our opinions and, see where it takes us. So I hope that answers your question. Saying that too, Neema is most likely the brains of the operation. So,
No.
okay.
I'm a slow learner.
Yeah,
I've always been a slow learner, but I believe in certain things and I've had my own experiences, so I don't exactly have much of a background, but most of the stuff that I've experienced just goes to what I believe, really.
Oh, actually, you know what though, Denise, I am happy you asked that question, because it leads me into this. And Neema, you do the magic mushroom. Is that what it's called? You get on that. So,
Yeah.
every now and then you'll see some trippy stuff where it's quite literally out of this world. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
All right. So
Ooh.
since you do that, like, have you felt a closer connection, that doesn't sound right. Why does that not sound right? Closer connection. I know I'm saying it right. It just sounds awkward for some reason. But anyway, do you feel that you have a closer connection to the afterlife because you're so spiritually aware?
I think I do from when I hadn't taken shrooms at all. But I think shrooms brings you closer to I don't know how to explain it, spirituality in general. So it shows a connectedness in everyone, and it shows you how connected you are to nature.
I
Um,
I
yeah.
want whatever you're eating, I want it. I personally have never tried that before, and I've always wanted to give it a go, but I'm afraid that I was going to trip out so bad that I might like hurt myself.
No, yeah, you have to be in a good environment with good people surrounding you. But if you are in a good mindset, it will take you farther,
I
not lower.
Would you say you're a little bit of a hippie? Just a little bit?
Well, I don't,
Or
I
just
would put hippies, I would shame hippies because there's a lot of things that I do that are very materialistic. So I wouldn't
yeah.
never, I don't think I'd classify myself as a hippie, even though I love hippie shit.
Huh?
Okay.
Don't worry, Rose is the same way.
Sounds legit.
So,
I like some of the things that they do, but I wouldn't exactly choose that as a lifestyle.
oh, so that
Yeah,
means you like taking baths. Gotcha.
I like
right.
taking baths. I don't like wearing hippie clothes, like baggy stuff and bright colors and crazy stuff. Um, but I do believe that marijuana can be good for you in moderation. Not that I smoke it or anything. I have a couple of times, but I'm not a regular smoker.
Well,
And
yeah,
I love how close to nature they like to be. That's what I really love about it. So being close to nature.
yeah.
So we have a pothead, or a partial pothead, and a shroom head, and
Now I have responsibilities.
okay, a
So
responsible
none.
pothead.
If I was to do any of that, I'd have to be by myself.
No, that's understandable. You don't want to be
No,
a moron
no,
and do.
because I mean, I know some people that are addicted to that, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be addicted to it. I just, I believe it's actually good for you because it's a plant. You're smoking the plant, people.
Now,
Yeah, I think you have a point, and moderation is always good, especially with medical marijuana, because you can get addicted to it.
Yeah. And the Native Americans smoked it, so,
well, not exactly. They,
The Native Americans do peyote.
yeah,
Ah.
it's a bit of a difference, and again, you wouldn't know that. You're Australian, so it doesn't.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not in your.
I'm
in
just
your
used to
country.
eating witchetty grubs and hugging koalas and jumping around in kangaroos all day.
Exactly, and fighting crocs.
Oh, yes, matey. Crikey, look at the size of that one.
That's how it goes.
Just so you know, you guys think you have the biggest alligators. You wait till you come to Australia and see a saltwater crocodile. They are freaking huge.
No, thank you.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah, well, alligators have got nothing on the Australian crocodile.
Well, our basketball team's better than yours, so.
I probably would agree with that because Americans are a lot better at basketball. We are good at cricket and like NRL football, which you guys don't have. Yeah, I think we're good at cricket.
I'm thinking.
I don't really follow sport that much.
I'm honestly thinking how much editing I'm gonna have to do on this.
A lot. By the sounds of it. We're
Is
just
it
going
so
off.
off topic or what?
We're getting off topic a lot, but hey, at least we're entertaining, right?
Okay, so Grave would like to know what type of past paranormal experiences have we each had. Rose, you've probably had the most, so you go ahead and let them know.
Um, is my story still on our page, Facebook page?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, my long story is on the Facebook page, but I wrote that a couple of years ago, so I guess there's more to add on to it since then. But I actually haven't had many experiences recently. So, how old was I? About 21, I think, when I started getting extraterrestrial contact. Um, Ever since I was little, I always believed that something was out there, that it wasn't just us. Like I always just had that knowing that, we weren't alone, and I always just yearned for learning about what's actually the truth about it all. Because there's a lot of fake stuff around on the internet and that about extraterrestrials. So one day they came to me, like I was sitting on the computer researching, and something literally just told me to look out the window. And I looked out the window, and, like, I shit you not, there was a spaceship hovering not far from my house. I mean, it wasn't huge or anything. It was smallish. And I'm just like, what am I looking at? I had no idea what I was looking at. And then all of a sudden it moved. Like, it shot down a little bit, and then within a split second, it literally disappeared, like turning on a light bulb on and off. Like it was gone. And I'm like, what the hell did I just see? And then all of a sudden it appeared again a little bit higher than what it was. It just turned back on again, like it was there again. And then all of a sudden it just shot across the sky, like, like just faster than I've ever seen a plane go. And it was just a round disc, like typical spaceship type UFO. And it took me a good half an hour to comprehend what I just saw, because I had no idea what I just saw. I was just like scratching my head the whole time, going, "What the hell just happened?" But from that day onwards, I've had a lot of extraterrestrial contact and experiences. A lot of it I actually can't remember. I actually have a little book that I write stuff in if I remember it.
Ooh, you know what?
Which
Sounds
I
like you
actually
need one of
haven't.
Neima's journals.
I haven't
Yeah.
written. I actually haven't written in the book for a couple of years now, because I've got to the point in my life that I feel like I know, like I was on a learning mission. I've learnt some information about them. I know where I'm at with them, and I'm happy with it. So instead of being obsessed with them like I was, I've just learnt to accept it and move on. Even though they're still there, they still visit me from time to time. I've just learnt that, I need to move on with my life. I'm here for a reason. I need to learn whatever life lessons I have to learn down here. And when I do die, I feel like I'm just going to go back to them, because I feel like I've literally reincarnated into this body for a reason. And I have connections with them, like, on a more spiritual plane, if that makes sense. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I've experienced with them that half of them I can't even remember now. But, yeah, I mean, what I experienced, I believe, is 100% legit. Like, I'm not making any of it up. Like, it's something that's really happened. I've experienced it. And at the moment, I'm just living my life how I want to live it, and I'm not really worrying about them too much.
Right, I think that answers that. What about you, Neima?
I think mine is more sixth sensey, and like
You're-
I just get these hunches or like feelings. Like I've gotten woken up in the middle of the night and told certain things, and then they are true. Yeah, and then seeing spirits, like sometimes I'll see someone sitting on my bed watching me or stuff like that.
I actually envy that, because ever since I was little, I've always wanted to see spirits. I mean, it's probably not something that you want to ask for, but I've always been curious about it. You know, I see other people like
Yeah.
mediums and that who can connect with the dead, who can see the dead, and I've always wanted that gift just because I'm wanting to help people. I love helping people, and if I could help someone who's passed over, like passed on, that would make me so happy to help them move on.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
have
think
to.
before I had like a very strong fear complex of them when I see them, and I try to teach myself to kind of get out of the fear and just accept what
That's
I'm seeing.
that's actually exactly what I had to do with the extraterrestrials. At first, I was like batshit scared of them. Like I had no idea, what they wanted and all that. So I was scared shitless of them, and then I actually trained myself to get that fear out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I would do the same thing with spirits. I mean, at first I would be scared shitless. Like, what does this person want? Are they evil? Do they have good intentions? I would be scared too. I actually watched that show Long Island Medium, and she said that she deliberately blocks out any negative spirits. She only contacts the positive spirits because I know if you open yourself up too much to that, you can actually have like demonic entities and all that, like all the negative stuff come through, which would really, really affect someone really bad.
Right. Yeah, I'm very empathic, so it's always difficult for me to judge the character of what I'm seeing, and I have to sage my house and my
Yep.
room at least every full moon, because if I don't, I'll have terrible nightmares and feel like I'm getting attacked.
You know what?
Wow. I'm actually a little bit of an empath as well. Like I pick up on people's
I
feelings
am
and that.
going to I'm gonna have to schedule a show with both of you so you could speak to Kelly Ferguson. She's a psychic that I had on, and I think that would be an interesting show.
Can she do
Yeah, that would
readings
be.
like that? Can she do readings for us while we're talking?
Yeah.
Okay, does she actually, can she see the dead and talk to the dead, or is it just more of a, um, I don't know, what sort of psychic is she?
Well, Rose, now I know you don't listen to the shows I do solo.
You have so many shows, Melvin, and I have so little time to sit down for like over an hour every time to listen to everything.
Anyway, she can. I believe she's able to communicate with spirits, and she gets certain images and things of that nature. She's able to feel energy, all that good stuff. And I can vouch for her. She's legit.
That's very good.
So,
Yeah, I'd be interested in doing a show definitely with her.
what about you, Neima?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if I would be a part of that one, but that would be an interesting show.
Melvin, you forgot to talk about your experiences.
Oh, I did, huh? Oh well. Now, you mentioned demons, and for some reason, I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it is about demons and stuff, but people seem to just really go for them, or everything's a demon, or something has demonic activity, and I want to know where they freaking come from, why they're here, and what is it that they want, if anything.
I believe they jump through some type of portal or something. They have ways of like when someone uses the Ouija board, that's pretty much opening up a portal for people to come through, good or bad. But demonic spirits, I mean, they might just be really bad spirits, people, or they could be a demonic entity that's come from like another dimension. Like they may not even, I don't even know where they come from. People just call them demonic because they're so bad and they want to do such bad things that, they're like a demon, like, demonic. I don't really know what they want, but I know that they like to fear. They like to feed on fear.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
energy you're giving off, but I don't know if they're evil or not. I mean, what if they're just doing
Well,
this to
they're
survive?
bad.
I won't even
But
say they're
at the same
bad.
at the same time, though, I feel that when they possess someone, they want permission to come into the physical plane. Like they're not a physical being, so they're trying to come through and use us as a vessel so they can come here and do things. Like it's hard to explain, but I think that's what they want. They want to come through and take over someone's physical body so they can be in a physical body and not be where they were. But maybe it's like the yin yang. You got your negative and your positive energy. For every positive spirit and positive energy, you've got to balance that with a negative. So you've got these negative beings coming through.
Perhaps, but again, I still don't think they're negative. I think it's all into how you perceive things, and
Right.
and
Possibly.
we can't perceive them. We can't understand them, and it could be that they are, of course, many people say that they're actually lower on the scale than most
And
because
humans.
yeah,
Low
because
frequency.
yeah, low frequency, thank you, because they do what demons do, but at the same time, maybe they're just having fun. Maybe they don't
And
care.
maybe that's why they can possess people so easily because, believe it or not, humans are on a very low level frequency. Like physical, we're on a very low scale, so that's probably why the demons can actually take over our bodies so easily.
Right. Or it could be this. Maybe they understand, meaning that they know it's more to life than the physical body, and whatever they do has no real consequence, and they're going to do it regardless. Like, whatever, what can you do to me? I mean, for instance, currently the most famous demon at the moment, uh, the Ouija demon Zozo, I will never forget him saying that humans are dumb because they don't understand how it can be in several places at once. And he was
Did he
in,
say that in Darren's book?
it wasn't in the book. This was something else.
Okay.
I don't think it was the Zozo
I
phenomenon.
I actually I was trying to communicate with spirits and that at one stage, and I thought I did everything right to protect myself, and this Zozo being kept coming through to me, and I ended up just giving up on trying to connect with the dead because you can't trust what you're listening to unless you can actually, unless you're like Namina and you can actually, physically see them or connect with them a lot better. But for someone like me who's got no spiritual connection at all, yeah, that Zozo dude kept coming through and I just gave up because I don't like him. We had arguments. I called him an a-hole because he kept coming through. Every time I tried to connect with the nicer spirits, I protect myself, did everything right. Zozo just kept coming through, and I'm like, will you just leave me alone?
Yeah, well, you could do you could do everything right, but in the end, it's still a telephone, and for whatever reason, that thing, it just knows how to always get through.
It's got more power than any other entity with the Ouija board that I've ever sort of seen. Like, he's got that power over it. Like, he can just come through whenever he wants.
Well, and I think that's partially our fault, and
Yeah, because
that's
we use his name too often.
well, that yeah, we give them energy, so it's like,
Yeah.
well, look what I
So,
can do.
like, even saying it like I just did gives me the creeps because I know that it can come through.
The name we shall not mention.
Yeah, we'll just say the Z
He
entity
who shall not
for
be
now.
named.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what? This is actually a good place to end it as well.
I enjoyed being back, just so you know.
Yeah, I was about to ask you how'd you like coming back?
It's actually really good to be back. I've been so busy the past couple of years, like just with work, and now I've had a baby, and I thought I'd have a lot more free time, but the babies are just so time consuming. So, yeah, I'm getting there, but I enjoy our little talks.
Yeah, I'm glad we had you on. That was fun.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure you'll be back in future things with Neima and and I can probably show you the ropes where you two can both just have a show together without me, because I think I'm actually going to need a break soon myself.
Yeah, I think you do a little bit too much, Melvin. You're always doing something. It's editing or doing this and doing that, and you get very overwhelmed.
And Neima, what do you think about Rose? Putting you on the spot.
Oh yeah, I think we had a good time. We get along great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you could gang up on me. Woo!
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
two
that's
against
that's the
one.
that's the fun of it, Melvin. And if we have the psychic on, it'll be 3 against 1.
Oh, I will totally like lock myself in a fallout shelter until you're done. Like, forget that mess. All right, Neima, bust out a Neimaism for us.
I'm at Hobby Lobby with some grandmas getting crafty.
Oh, awesome. Crafty.
Okay, that works. That's. I was actually hoping you were going to say, because this thing made me laugh really hard. I was hoping you were going to say, "Water has no respect for boundaries."
Oh yeah.
With that said, thank you all so much for kicking it with us, and we hope you all enjoy. Don't forget to follow Unexplained Possibilities on Facebook and Twitter. And like I said earlier in the show, be sure to check out Neima's Etsy for some pretty wicked handmade journals. And all those links can be found in the description below. And remember guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Go ahead and tell them hi. Bye everybody.
Bye.